All right, Gemini, welcome to this weekly sidereal forecast for July 27th through August 2nd. My name is Athen. So a very simple week. We have the full moon taking place in Capricorn, which is your 8th house, as well as Jupiter squaring up to Saturn, which is the only major aspect during the week. So let's go and look at it. Let's break it down one by one. An important consideration is looking at the previous weekend coming into this week, because we did have some important transits. One was that Mars from your first house squared up to Uranus. So hopefully last weekend prompted you to make some change, to renew or rejuvenate or revolutionize a particular area of your life, probably having to do with your drive, your ambition, gaining more energy, pursuing your goals, maybe redoing the routine, the health, and maybe networking and things relating to enjoying more of your work, etc. Because Mars does rule both your 6th and 11th house, but as well as Uranus, who's been transiting that 10th, is about reflecting on the work, how it can be more enjoyable, how you can give, etc. So new excitement there. Hopefully it's a square energy, so it's all about action. So coming into this week with that will be a good way to build some solid foundations. That, along with the fact that Uranus did go retrograde as well as Venus over the weekend. So now for the next few months, continuing to reflect on how you can have more fun and enjoyment in that work sector, give more, etc., and as well as your values. Venus has been retrograde, in your 3rd house since the last weekend. So reflecting on, your values relating to your self-expression, with Leo in the 3rd house, your communications, thinking more about that kind of stuff. So whatever that has been for you, hopefully that sets you off on a new path in terms of communication, maybe even relating to that self-expression of Venus ruling that 5th, and spirituality, how you can have more rest and relaxation in your life. So a few shifts there, and then that's going to lead into this week as well, but no major aspects Monday or Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we start the 1-degree orb of this Jupiter squaring up to Saturn, which we will feel all week, but especially from Wednesday onward. And it does go into next week, since it is very slow-moving planets here. So first of all, Jupiter has been transiting the 2nd house of yours, involving the values, material aspects of life. So hopefully over the past year, you've been making those opportunities into a reality to help solidify and build more of that material wealth, abundance, enjoyment, the simple pleasures of life. And Jupiter is still transiting this 2nd house of yours. So you'll have this energy here for the next week as well. But before Jupiter transits, we'll be into that 3rd. Saturn will be squaring up to Jupiter. So it's important now this week to put in any hard work, discipline, to continue to expand that 2nd house of yours, whether it's material or otherwise. Maybe it's your sense of self-worth, your confidence levels, taking action with that, by reflecting on, these things that you're passionate about. Saturn has recently gone retrograde back into your 5th house, which is about setting foundations so that you can have more fun, you can have more creativity, more enjoyment in what you're involved with on that level. So that being said, I think it's very important for you this week to discipline that 2nd house as well as that 5th house of fun, joy, playfulness, which doesn't necessarily feel like such, I will say, with Saturn in the 5th, but it's for long-term enjoyment, long-term passion, long-term creativity, building things. Maybe it's your small business, creative projects, things like that, to build foundations there, because Saturn won't be back to this part of your chart for another 27, 28 years. So this is it. Final foundations there, and then Saturn will be going back into your 6th of health and routine and stuff. So that being said, Saturn does naturally rule your 8th and your 9th house. So putting in maybe, the thing here is that there's opportunities coming into both of these areas, you see. So there's opportunities, to expand on the 5th and the 2nd, as well as transformation, as well as your life path, spirituality, and with Jupiter ruling your 7th and your 10th, maybe putting in some more hard work with relationships, discipline, maturity there, as well as with your career and work, which is Jupiter ruling your 7th and your 10th house. So that's going to be the highest energy here during the work week. One thing, too, is we can look at the rulers, the depositor of these planets, which is Venus, who rules Libra, and the Sun, who rules that Leo energy here. So all in all, to unlock this disciplined growth, which is available here, tap into that playfulness, tap into that self-expression. through reflecting on your values relating to these things, communicate, exchange, and be willing to learn in that process, which is, of course, that retrograde in the third house. Likewise, the sun recently did go into your second, so there should be some passion, some excitement, or at least awareness of how to create that solid material foundation in your life. So utilize that as well. Maybe the reflective kind of energy too, with the sun in Cancer, in terms of who you are, what your natural abilities are, your natural talents, things like that, will be assisting a lot of this this growth here, hopefully for you here in the second and the fifth house. But it all comes down to that square, which is about hard work. This isn't anything that happens, it just doesn't happen for us. We have to put in that energy there and that intention to make those areas into a reality, because Jupiter does expand, but Saturn does confine and restrict, and put those two together, you have creation essentially. So that's the middle of the week, and then on Friday we have that full moon here in that 8th house of yours. So with all this stuff going on in the material realm of enjoying life, the simple pleasures, finances, things like that, the full moon in the 8th is about the deeper connections of life. What is life truly about? It's about transformation. It's about seeing the truth within ourselves, creating bonds, deeper bonds with others in our relationships. So stuff like that, anything relating to the deeper truth, esoteric energies of life, or just transformational energies, can certainly be highlighted around Friday. So reflecting on these things will be important. Putting any energy into these things, maybe shared resources, maybe, again, getting deeper with things like your work, relationships, etc., will be a good energy to work with around Friday. That being said, it's also a culmination of the past 2 weeks in regards to anything you've been working on last week and this week, in regards to these goals, ambitions, and drives, which are there with Mars in that first house. Now, Mars isn't in the best position here in Gemini, so it's important to stay balanced with it, not go to any extremes, but Mars is going to be slowly shifting into Cancer going into next week, so that'll be a much better position where I think you'll find your energy levels starting to work their way through in a little bit more of a balanced and a harmonious way there. So in anyways, full moon, culmination point of the past 2 weeks with any intentions that you set, either around the first house, which is you and your goals, as well as the material and simple pleasures of life, which was very close to that second as well. And it's also important too around Friday to balance, this material stuff, the enjoyment there, and also with the deeper element of life also. So that's Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, Saturn does go station direct. So then anything you have learned now during that retrograde period of the past roughly 5 months, here since last month of your 5th house, of that fun, joy, and creativity, and how you can put that discipline there, can start to move forward. So going into next week, this weekend, reflect on those things, how you can put that energy into it, because all this stuff you learned can then be applied once Saturn finishes his transit of your 5th house this month. Now, Saturday and Sunday, very important for you Geminis. Mercury will be trining up to Uranus, which is a very nice aspect, actually. So with your ruler here in the 2nd house, there's certainly a lot of things that perhaps you're thinking about in the material stuff, and the simple pleasures, enjoyment, etc. So any changes that you want to set intentions for there over the weekend, a good weekend for those things. Uranus is always that revolutionary, changing energy, but it'll come through you understanding more about, again, these things that are important to you, that give you more freedom through your work, and more excitement and things like that on that public level. So supportive aspect there for your ruler over the weekend can be very nice for those things, as well as just for you in general, and anything relating to home and family, which is Mercury, who does naturally rule your 4th house. So Gemini, have a nice week. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you all next time.